G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are doing glue up on our little custom knife. So this is the one I am doing for a client and this one's for Dana. So we've done our bolsters, we've got all the blades finished, everything like that. So for this section, what we're going to do is we're only going to glue on one part of the handle. And then once the glue's dried off, which is going to take a day, I'm going to drill through these holes and then I'll glue on the other side of the handle. Once that's dried off, then we'll drill through the holes the other way and put the pins in. It actually takes me 3 days to glue the blades up, to glue the handles up using this bolster technique. It is a fair time, but I find that it leads to less errors, less gapping, and it just gives me a neater finished product. So, and that's pretty important to me. I want to make sure that the person who's buying the knife gets the best knife possible. Now, what I use for this first glue up stage is these little Cleco clamps. They're a sheet metal working clamp, and I find they're fantastic for doing this stage. Now, before glue up, everything gets rubbed down with some rubbing alcohol, just to make sure it's all nice and clean, that there's no oil or anything from out in the workshop. Okay. Now I'm just gonna put a decent coat, but I don't want it coming out the sides too much. I do want a little bit of squeeze out just to make sure that there's good coverage, but I'm not trying to make it so there's tons of glue squeezing out the sides. Okay. Make sure our bolster's sitting flat against the timber. We have a good timber coverage. And then we put the Clecos on. Now you can do it, of course, with spring clamps, with G clamps, F clamps, anything like that. I just find these nice and useful and easy to do once you get the hang of them. Make sure everything's tight once I've got the first one on. Okay, that's that one glued up. Same deal here. Just enough glue so I'm getting some squeeze out, but not enough so I'm making a mess. Make sure the bolster's flat on the timber. Put our first clamp on and check it all again. Make sure it's all nice and tight before we put that second one on. Just clean up the glue with a bit of alcohol. Alright folks, well I'll see you tomorrow, which will be a couple of seconds for you. Okay, our glue's set up. It hasn't been a full 24 hours, but it's gonna hold strong enough for me to do the next part. So for the next part, we're just gonna drill out our little holes. So the pinholes go all the way through from here to here. I'm just gonna trim off the timber and then we're gonna glue on the other side. So I'll go drill the holes. I'll be back in a second. Okay, there we are. The holes are drilled through and we're ready for the next glue up. Again, a little bit of rubbing alcohol. And we're just gonna clean everything off. Make sure any gunk, any glue that flowed over is cleaned up. And we have nice clean surfaces to glue. Same with this one. Okay, same procedure as last time. Smear some glue on. Want enough so that we're getting some squeeze out, but we don't want great splodges of glue squeezing out of it. And if you clamp it too tight, you end up squeezing all the glue out, which isn't a good thing. Now those Cleco clamps aren't big enough to go around 2 scales, so I just use some spring clamps on them. Again, put the first one on and make sure everything's lined up pretty. And the second one goes on. Same here. Alright, and we'll leave the glue set on those and then we'll drill the pinholes through all the way to the other side and put the pins in as our last stage of glue up. Alright, and we're up to the final phase of our gluing up. So at the moment it's taken a couple of days to get the different scales in place. And now we're just putting the pins in. So I just put a little bit of glue in both sides. Roll it around. And just press it through. You want a fairly snug fit in them. And just glue this one while we're at it. Alright. There we go. They are both glued up. So that will take the 24 hours cure time before I can grind it. If you try and grind them too early, especially with the copper, it'll heat it up and the glue will just move and your pins will move about on you. So leave it for the 24 hours, and you want to be careful not to put too much heat on the copper and the brass as you grind, otherwise you do melt the glue out. So just nice slow grinding on them. Alright, thank you very much everyone for watching. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit that little bell notification so you know when there's further videos in this series or any other series that I put out. Again, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.